Hello, I'm Master Sergeant Melissa Rolland, and here's a quick look at what's coming up in this episode of Army Reserve Today. A change in leadership. United States Army Reserve Command welcomes its new interim Command Sergeant Major. Operation Toy Drop. More than 2,000 soldiers participated in the annual event, helping to make Christmas bright for children in need. Operation Toy Trot. A special fun run providing additional support to Operation Toy Drop. All of these stories and more ahead on this edition of Army Reserve Today. We begin with our top story. Command Sergeant Major James Wills is the new interim Sergeant Major of the Army Reserve. We had the opportunity to sit down with the new CSM and ask him a variety of questions about his thoughts on his new position and what he hopes to achieve in his new role.
It's a great opportunity to be able to serve in the senior NCO capacity as the advisor to the Chief of the Army Reserve and the Commander of the U.S. Army Reserve Command, to be able to serve as the senior NCO, the senior leader of the soldiers, civilians, and our families, and be able to provide some leadership and support to our soldiers.
CSM Wills enlisted into the U.S. Army in 1984 and has served in a variety of rewarding and developmental positions. Wills went on to say how his career has helped prepare him for this position.
Across the 31 years of my career, I've been very fortunate to have served in numerous levels of command between O&F training and the RSCs. And along the way, I've absolutely had some outstanding mentors, leaders, peers, and colleagues alike. And I will tell you that every assignment and every opportunity has lent something unique and special to getting me to where I'm at this point as a leader. So all I can tell you is I have a greater obligation to the force as a whole. I love soldiers, I love their families, and I want to make sure that along the way everyone understands that I'm here to support the force.
It's that time of year again when soldiers from all over the world join together for an event that helps children and families in need during a very special time of year. The Randy Olur Memorial Operation Toy Drop celebrates its 18th year as the largest toy collection and donation program in the Army Reserve. Sergeant First Class Randy Olur, a former Special Forces soldier and ranger, founded Toy Drop and Friends in 1998, right here in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. It was his idea to join together airborne operations, foreign military jump masters, and local charities to help support the event. Unfortunately, Olur died at age 43 in 2004 after he collapsed aboard a C-130 aircraft during a daytime parachute operation. He is buried at Arlington National Cemetery, and Operation Toy Drop continues to be his legacy. Since the beginning of the event, paratroopers have traveled all over the world to donate toys, conduct airborne operations, and ultimately help make Operation Toy Drop a success. This year was nothing different. Hundreds of paratroopers gathered before dawn on December 4th with a toy in hand in hopes of getting a lottery ticket and a chance to jump with a foreign jumpmaster. Sergeant Rodney Roldan with the 361st Press Camp Headquarters has more on how these toys are helping to make Christmas a little brighter for children in need.
266. A special kind of lottery took place on Fort Bragg today that gave soldiers the opportunity to earn their wings. Hundreds of soldiers lined up in the early hours to participate in the 18th annual Randy Olur Memorial Operation Toy Drop, hosted by the U.S. Army Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations Command Airborne.
Originally, we didn't think it would be this big, but the fact that we have that many paratroopers that are willing to come out and donate a toy to put a smile on a kid's face, that in itself tells you how big and why we're here.
Paratroopers lined up along the street to donate a gift, receive a lottery ticket, and patiently wait with the hopes that their number will be called. Once called, each soldier trained with a jump master from one of 7 partner nations. The soldiers will have the opportunity to earn jump wings from that partner nation by participating in the next day's airborne operation. While the possibility to jump the next day is exciting, these soldiers found the act of giving to be more satisfying and worth waiting.
In the past years, we got weathered out and stuff, and a lot of the lotteries were affected where they didn't get the jump. But that doesn't make a difference to the soldiers.
Hundreds of toys were collected throughout the week, with over 1,000 items collected on this day alone. Local organizations and schools, including the North Carolina School of Science and Math, also came out to donate gifts and show their support.
We actually have a toy drive every year to donate specifically to Operation Toy Drop. We think it's a great cause because the holidays are about giving back to the community.
Operation Toy Drop continues to grow each year, with more and more soldiers reaching out to the community and helping families in need over the holidays. Reporting from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I'm Sergeant Rodney Roldan.
This year, around 2,000 paratroopers participated in Operation Toy Drop, and German Army soldiers traveled to Fort Bragg to train and jump in the event. Sergeant First Class Kenneth Scott, with the 354th Mobile Public Affairs Detachment, has more on their experiences with Operation Toy Drop.
The UH-60 Black Hawk has many uses in the Army. This year, as in the last 17 years, several countries' paratroopers will exit out of it in support of Operation Toy Drop here at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. This year, the country of Germany sent 10 service members to learn and jump out of various aircraft for a good cause and good training. Major Daniel LaBouche, a native of the Black Forest region of Germany, explains why he likes jumping.
Why I like to jump? Because up there, you feel free more likely. Because it's so quiet during the fall, and when you open your chute as well, it's so quiet up there, it's wonderful. When you hit the ground, you immediately feel again, okay, the rush, everything is starting to move again, okay, the quiet part is over.
About 2,000 paratroopers will jump this year as part of the United States Army Civil Affairs and Psychological Operation Command's Operation Toy Drop. Most all will bring gifts to donate to local charities, who will present these gifts to children on Christmas Day. Major LaBouche loves the fact that he has come back for his third year at Toy Drop.
I'm really happy to be here, and as well on the other side I'm really proud to be here to support Operation Toy Drop, and I'm already looking forward to Saturday when the main event is. We will watch it on Facebook or maybe on YouTube when they hand over the toys to the kids on the 25th. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Operation Toy Drop is an Army Reserve sponsored event, but trains active duty and Army Reserve soldiers to jump along our partner nation paratroopers. The training continues for this week's airborne exercise. Reporting from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I'm Sergeant First Class Kenny Scott.
There are a lot of aspects that go into making Operation Toy Drop a success, and making sure the jump masters are prepared is an important safety piece. Staff Sergeant Timothy Coster with the 362nd Mobile Public Affairs Detachment has more on how the jump masters from various countries train on a C-130 aircraft to prepare for safe airborne operations.
Jump masters from various countries participating in the 18th annual Randy Olur Memorial Operation Toy Drop conducted familiarization training on a C-130 aircraft. The training was designed to help the jump masters rehearse the proper procedures for a safe airborne operation.
It's very important for the jumpers to give them a good feeling that they can jump safe out of a helicopter or airplane, and therefore is the role of the jump master very important.
This training exercise also had the benefit of allowing partner nation soldiers to work and learn together, making future joint operations successful.
We love what we do. Getting to see other countries, how they do business, getting to compare drills, methods of employment. It's great to cross-train. Right? It makes for excellent interoperability, and it just makes us stronger as a whole.
The Netherlands and Canada are two of the 7 countries participating in this year's Operation Toy Drop, which has raised more than 150,000 toys for children in need. Reporting from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I'm Army Staff Sergeant Tim Coster.
Safety is the main concern in preparation for Operation Toy Drop. This year, personnel from the U.S. Army Operational Test Command provided parachute safety training for jump masters from several nations to teach them the different techniques and commands U.S. paratroopers use. Sergeant Rodney Roldan has more.
Safety is important, especially during airborne operations. Soldiers from the U.S. Army Operational Test Command conducted parachute safety training for jump masters from several different nations in preparation for Operation Toy Drop. The training consisted of familiarizing foreign jump masters with techniques and commands used by U.S. paratroopers.
Earlier this morning we went through MC6 training, which is the static line version. We took them down, we covered a standard video that they all have to watch, and then later on this afternoon we covered MC4, which we went through sustained airborne training with them and all the procedures with the MC4.
During toy drop, U.S. paratroopers will jump under the command of foreign jump masters who will give commands in their native languages.
It's very standardized, so they understand how to do it. The language is not too much of a barrier with them. Either they have an interpreter, and our guys work very closely with them, so they talk at their speed to help them understand everything, and we do things very slowly.
Familiarizing each jump master with unique techniques and commands used by U.S. personnel is necessary to ensure jump operations run smoothly between all participating nations.
When they get together and they're getting ready to get on the aircraft, they understand each other, and so they give the jumpers a feel of confidence and safety.
Reporting from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I'm Sergeant Rodney Roldan.
Stay with us. Army Reserve Today will be right back.
I may be wearing an ugly holiday sweater, but at least I'm not that guy. He's had way too much to drink and has decided now is the perfect time to show off his new gun. In about 60 seconds, he's going to accidentally shoot his friend in the gut because he forgot to clear the weapon. He'll be dead in less than a minute. Happy holidays, everyone.
House fires often increase during the winter. Cozy fires, holiday cooking, and decorative candles can be accidents waiting to happen. Use metal fireplace screens to prevent sparks from igniting nearby objects like furniture. Don't leave cooking pans unattended. They can and do catch fire. Also, make sure you blow out candles before going to bed. House fires. Are you ready or not?
Winter is a popular time to go on vacations, but it's also a time people try activities they rarely do or might not have done at all.
Hey buddy, this is an advanced slope. Are you sure you're ready for this? Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm good.
Winter sports can be great fun, but they're dangerous without proper training. Know your limits. Broken bones and bruises aren't fun. When you hit the slopes, will you be ready or not?
Winter storms can sometimes leave you snowed in for days, so it's important to be prepared. Have rock salt or other environmentally safe products to melt ice on walkways. You can also use sand to improve traction. Have a snow shovel or other snow removal equipment standing by. Store a good supply of dry, seasoned wood for your fireplace in the event you lose power. Also have adequate clothing and blankets to keep you warm. Winter storms. Are you ready or not?
Welcome back. Not everyone wants to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, so instead, airmen from the 43rd Air Base Squadron and soldiers from U.S. Army Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations Command Airborne participated in Operation Toy Trot. Sergeant Rodney Roldan from the 361st Press Camp Headquarters has more on how this fun run helped donate toys to support Operation Toy Drop.
Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." This is true, especially for the airmen and soldiers who participated in Operation Toy Trot, a 5K fun run here on Polk Field.
I came out today for Operation Toy Drop. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time, and it supports lots of children.
Dressed in a combination of holiday costumes and fitness wear, participants donated gifts for the upcoming U.S. Army Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations Command's Airborne 18th Annual Operation Toy Drop.
This is in conjunction with the Toy Drop. The Toy Drop is later on this week. The gifts that we collected today from the Toy Trot are going to go to the Toy Drop.
Awards were given out to the runners with the best costumes. In addition, participants also received a special visit from, you guessed it, Old St. Nick.
Today I came down from the North Pole specifically to give some support to the soldiers and the airmen that take part in this great event.
Events like this provide a true meaning of giving this season, not only for the members within the services, but for the communities that those services support.
I'm blessed, I have a job, I have a great family, I have my health. Only thing I can do now is give back and help spread the holiday cheer.
Reporting from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I'm Sergeant Rodney Roldan.
The Army Reserve Engagement Team Japan, ARET-J, demonstrates its commitment to its Pacific partners by conducting a bilateral air mission that introduced 9 Japan Reserve candidates to the missions, culture, and capabilities of their American allies. Sergeant John Carkeet reports from U.S. Army, Japan.
Japanese citizens seeking enlistment into the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force Reserve component undergo a rigorous 5-day training program that introduces candidates to military life. When the JGSDF's 117th Training Battalion invited 9 reserve candidates to spend one of those days participating in a bilateral air mission with their U.S. Army Reserve counterparts, the group literally took flight.
The air mission came about because the travel time from Takayama, from the 117th Training Battalion to here, is so long. We wanted to increase their training by adding a few things to the schedule. The best way to do it was to add the aircraft.
Prior events, they could only do 1 or 2 things in Camp Zama or Sagame Depot. But with the air mission, they were able to do double that training.
Soldiers from the Army Reserve Engagement Team, Japan, ARET-J, coordinated with U.S. Army Japan's Aviation Battalion to transport their JGSDF partners via Black Hawk helicopter from Camp Takayama, one of the country's largest joint training bases, to U.S. Army Japan's headquarters in Camp Zama, Japan, November 19, 2015.
Part of its tactical training, things like the weapons engagement systems trainer, and talk about the cooperation between the U.S. Army Reserve and the JGSDF Reserve.
The ARET-J team introduced the candidates to the U.S. Army Reserve structure, missions, and capabilities while giving them a glimpse of what it takes to serve as a language interpreter.
So it's technical training because the reservists are generally linguists. What it means to be an interpreter, what's really required of a military-type interpreter.
ARET-J also immersed their guests into Camp Zama's proud past with a walking tour of the base's museum, monuments, and even a bomb shelter dating back to the Second World War.
The history told me some of the Japanese history that we have not taught in the education, like school educations. I think that experience will be a big help of my future career as a reserve candidate.
The JGSDF candidates concluded their tour with a 5-minute flight to Sagame Depot, where they experienced firsthand how the U.S. Army facilitates a realistic yet safe training environment.
If the Japanese don't know what we're doing and how we train, there could be conflict with them doing bilateral exercises with us where they don't understand what we're doing and how we're operating. It makes it for a better atmosphere when they know what we're doing and we know what they're doing.
So there are lots of things I learned. It is because the mutual understanding of each country is the first step to keep a good relation as well as keeping a peace.
After a full day of briefings, tours, and training, the candidates returned to Camp Takayama with a greater level of respect, friendship, and admiration for their American allies.
Now we could learn a lot from the Japanese force, and they could also learn a lot from the American force.
During this training, I had a better understanding of this Army Reserve. That we are also same kind of people who are trying to protect our own countries.
U.S. Army Reserve and the U.S. Army is committed to the alliance. We're committed to the JGSDF, and we're committed to the reserve component as well. The more we engage with them, the more both sides receive out of the relationship.
Reporting for the Army Reserve Engagement Team Japan, I'm Army Sergeant John Carkeet, Camp Zama, Japan.
The 79th Sustainment Support Command held a fit camp to help and train soldiers in the command struggling with weight loss. Sergeant First Class James Lilly from the 79th SSC takes us inside the camp and shows us the techniques and training used to help soldiers get fit.
So far, I've seen the soldiers push themselves from day one all the way to now. We're almost done with the course. Soldiers that I didn't think they were going to be able to push themselves, they're pushing themselves to the limit and giving it all they got.
I've seen a lot of soldiers give it their all, like trying to take their body past the breaking point. I mean, we had to tell them a lot of times to just ease up.
Life changing, and also instilling this change in their life, because it's not only something that they have to do here in Fit Camp. It's something that they have to do every day at home when nobody's supervising them or nobody's watching them. So.
Listen closely to the test instructions and do the best you can on each of the events. The push-up event.
The intensity kind of took me back to basic training a little bit, but not as bad. But it was, it wasn't even bad. It was great. It was really great. I think they did an amazing job, pushing us and teaching us the techniques that we needed to know, to better our run, helping us with our form. They did great.
We're so out of shape, and just getting back into trying to do all the exercising and being sore, they understood that, but yet they weren't just telling us what to do. They were working out with us. They were down with us, They were showing us how to do it the right way.
I feel that they did a very great job at sticking with it and showing and trying to get one-on-ones with everybody when there was a chance to keep them going along the way and to keep pushing themselves.
Like I said, their loyalty, they wanted us to lose weight, improve, and that's what they did.
The motivation here was to help our soldiers, to get them to understand what a healthy lifestyle is, what it takes to meet the standards, because once they do meet the standards, it's a benefit to the Army, but it's a great benefit to the soldier.
Quite a bit of it will stick, and I'll actually use it when I go back. More of it was the managing of how you go about in your regular life, because we know there's things that we have to do and we have to get done, but it's easy to put it to the back burner.
Just with nutrition also, being able to have these classes and learn about counting calories and what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, what would work best for you, your intake of calories. I think everyone should know that.
Yes, I am glad I came. I filled my contract, I filled my obligation to my commander and my first sergeant, so yes, I am glad, and I actually lost weight, so that is a great improvement.
I would recommend it to every soldier that is having issues with any of the events with weight loss. I would definitely recommend it, yes.
Great results. We've lost over 260 pounds. We've lost 8% body fat per soldier. Very highly motivated, and then today was a culminating event of re-enlistment of a young sergeant.
Don't go away. Army Reserve Today. We'll be right back.
This holiday season, parties will be merry and plentiful. When you're out partying with your friends, control how much you drink and make sure you have a battle buddy so you can take care of each other. Never get behind the wheel after drinking or with someone else who has consumed alcohol. Accidents happen when people get behind the wheel drunk. Don't put your life or the lives of others in danger. Make sure you're ready or not.
My husband says I went a little overboard. Emergency flares, shovel, windshield scraper, toolkit, booster cables, blankets, first aid kit, and waterproof matches.
She packed everything but the kitchen sink.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
It's important to winterize your home. Have your heating system serviced professionally to make sure it's clean, working properly, and ventilated to the outside. Keep a safe, alternative heating source, such as a space heater or wooden stove. Have your fireplace and chimney inspected and clean. Install smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and test the batteries regularly. House safety. Are you ready or not?
Welcome back to Army Reserve Today. A senior civilian leader of the U.S. Army Reserve recently visited citizen soldiers in Europe. Staff Sergeant Tristan McIntyre gives us a look at the unique unit this executive wanted to see.
U.S. Army Reserve soldiers have a variety of jobs, which are typically in the United States. However, a fortunate few get to come live in Europe.
These guys are getting to do some really cool stuff.
James Balaki is a senior civilian executive in the Army Reserve, and he has come to Europe to visit some of his soldiers.
And these guys really are sort of twice the citizen. They're serving as civilians during the week. They're a part of our units. But on battle assembly weekends, then they put the uniform on.
Although a reservist serves differently from their active duty counterpart, Mr. Balaki says much of their mission is the same, and they're an important asset in Europe.
They bring all these unique civilian acquired skills. So it's almost like being bilingual or trilingual, right? They speak sort of Army, but they also speak civilian skill sets and see it from a different set of perspectives. They don't just see it through the lens of a military practitioner. They see it through the eyes of a civilian practitioner.
He also says it's a privilege to serve with them.
And then the chance to serve in Europe, I don't think there's anything better. Our Army Reserve is proud to be serving in Europe alongside the military men and women of all services. Don't discount these men and women as being just reservists. They're a lot more than that.
Staff Sergeant Tristan McIntyre, Dana-Kaserne, Germany.
Being physically fit in the Army Reserve is a top priority, and the Tough Mudder is an event that tests and pushes individuals to their fitness potential. 2 Army Reserve soldiers from Pennsylvania challenged themselves by participating in the Philadelphia area Tough Mudder.
Being a soldier means you must maintain a high level of fitness. For Army Reserve soldiers, this gets even more challenging while balancing the commitments of an Army and civilian career.
Sometimes it really is tough to want to continue to stay fit, train, work out, PT on a regular basis. It's easier when you're on, active duty orders if you're in training or AT or whatever, but in the civilian world it's harder to stay motivated.
For 2 Pennsylvania Army reservists, participating in the Philadelphia area Tough Mudder was not only fun, but motivating as well.
I expected it to be really hard, but I guess it was more fun than I thought it was going to be. I never really considered doing one of these before. I mean, I've done a few 5Ks, things like that, but it was a lot of fun, and it was really hard.
This is actually my very first, yeah. I just had an opportunity through the Army to do it, and I decided to give it a go. I'm currently pursuing employment as a police officer, so I'm trying to stay physically fit for that. Yeah, it's definitely better to have a goal, per se, a target. You can just work out, but if you don't have a goal to work towards, you have a countdown for something, it always makes it better.
Tough Mudder is not a timed race, but an event designed to build confidence and teamwork. The event was sponsored by the Army Reserve and allowed for interaction between soldiers and civilians. From Coatesville, Pennsylvania, for the 326th MPAD, I'm Sergeant Sam Conrad.
Army Reserve soldiers sponsored the 2015 Central Florida Tough Mudder, where they were able to push and cheer for everyone participating in the event. Staff Sergeant Lloyd Harger from the 204th Public Affairs Detachment shows how soldiers helped to support the Tough Mudder.
We've got people that are willing to be out here, willing to do something hard, if for no other reason than just to challenge themselves. And those are the kind of soldiers that we're looking for the Army. The Army Reserve is always growing. We're always looking for the best and brightest soldiers that we can get. So if we can find these people that are determined to push themselves, we'll be more than happy to take those soldiers. Right here on the physical fitness course, we've got the sled push. They're going to push it about 10 yards to the finish line. Then they're going to knock out 5 pull-ups on the pull-up bar. They're going to low crawl through the camo net. Once they get to the end, they're going to do the push-ups. They're going to elevate their feet on the back wall. They're going to knock out 20 push-ups, and they're going to pull the sled back to the finish line. The Army Reserve's got a lot of opportunity without the full-time commitment that the active duty component has. So we're very flexible about who we can work with.
A lot of people come from all over the country to do these kind of events, so we're just an Army presence, and it supports our mission of representing soldiers and the United States Army. And the excellence and professionalism that we bring to the stage hopefully represents our soldiers, our fellow soldiers well. Today we're going to be rocking out the Tough Mudders.
This is the first time in 17 years we're seeing each other, and we decided to do a Tough Mudder together.
The best thing that ever happened to me is I joined the Army.
That's true.
All right? I did more things in the Army than I would ever do in civilian life in a million years.
It's like a second family.
Yeah.
It really is a second family.
I can't ask any more than that. Maybe Michelle can.
And that will do it for this episode of Army Reserve Today. For more information about the Army Reserve, check us out online at www.usar.army.mil, friend us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter at U.S. Army Reserve. From Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and the U.S. Army Reserve Command, I'm Master Sergeant Melissa Rollan. Thanks for watching.